What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops crew, and it is Nuff of the week time. And I had plans for another individual in this particular week, but then in the final moments of the King's birthday Melbourne and Collingwood match, Stephen May gave us something to work with, something a little bit different, something that I haven't really had to hone in on too much in a while. But it's all about disrespect among the ranks within the same team, disrespecting your captain, disrespecting your teammate, being just a general arsehole. And that was Stephen May. So we're going to talk through the entire situation, how it all played out, why Stephen May is the nuff this week, and then what needs to be done to fix this situation. Because the Melbourne Football Club nearly pulled off a heist today, and they've been playing much better football for quite some time. So what do you need to do to fix things when you have an incident like this so public at the end of the match, specifically involving your captain? We'll get into all of that after a word from our sponsor.
The Hoops Crew Media Network is proudly sponsored by Cyril Cook Florist. Visit them at shop 1211 Leather Street in Breakwater. Phone them on 035 222 2244 or visit their website at www.cyrilcookflorist.com.au and use the offer code GOCATS in the voucher field at checkout to get 20% off your next online purchase.
Thank you, Cyril Cook Florist, as always, for your ongoing support of the Hoops Crew and all we get up to. Now, let's get into the footage in question here. We'll talk through it. We're going to mute it so that we don't get demonetized, all those sorts of little things. But the footage comes courtesy of Channel 7 or Fox Footy. Take your pick, really. And it shows an interaction between Max Gawn and Stephen May at the very end of the match. After, you'll admit that Max Gawn kind of blew it for the Ds. He took a fantastic mark, as he did all day. He took lots of wonderful intercepting marks for the Ds and was a main reason why the Ds were as competitive as they were. But he had a bit of a brain fart with about 30 seconds to go. He took the ball in the back pocket, great contested mark, and then went to, for some reason, kind of cross the ball, swing the ball across the field with a torp, shanked it straight down the throat of a Collingwood player, and that's it. Bob's your uncle, game is over. Now, fine. Accidents happen. Lapses in judgment happen. You hope that your leaders, like a Max Gawn, don't have those moments, but he's already all too aware of the mistake that he's made. And then you get this after the game. And let's throw to the clip here, where we see, one teammate getting around him. On the flip side, you then see Stephen May wandering over, and there's the push away. Now, why does that happen? Clearly, there's been a bit of mouthy bullshit from Stephen May that prompts that sort of thing. Max Gawn, massive competitor, but he's the captain of that club, leads by example, very respectful. Stephen May has a bit of a track record of being a douchebag, punching teammates at restaurants, carrying on like a pork chop, lots of ill-disciplined acts on the football field. Every bit of evidence we have suggests that he's not the sharpest or most respectful of fellows. And so, and I'm basing it, of course, on that. We're going to get more information about this, undoubtedly. But this is all pretty fresh, pretty hot. I'm recording this 20 minutes after it's happened or thereabouts, and we're going to get it out for Nuff of the week this week. But what I see here is a fundamental lack of respect for your captain. But you can extend that to any member of the team as well. Max Gawn knows he's one of the most senior players on your list, if not the most senior. He knows that he's made a horrible error when the D's had a chance to go up the other end and pinch this game. He's well aware that he shouldn't have perhaps tried to fire out a torp, or that it wasn't an attempted torp and it was just a horrific execution error of a skill. He knows. He doesn't need you being a smartass. He needs other teammates. And sorry, I don't know some of the younger blokes at the D's overly well, but he needs the younger blokes, like we're seeing in the screenshot here. He needs other blokes getting around him and supporting and trying to pick him up and go, mate, don't worry about it. We dust ourselves off and we go again. He needs that sort of interaction, not whatever he copped from Stephen May that justified the piss off mate style energy. And I don't blame Max. Like if I'm right and Stephen May's kind of gotten in his ear and started to, scold him essentially, Maybe it wasn't overly hypercritical. Maybe it wasn't too aggressive. But maybe he's scolded him. Maybe he's pointed out, mate, that was a horrible decision. What were you thinking? That's not what you need. It's not what is going to make this situation better. The best clubs in the AFL support each other. Every individual in the club support. It's why Collingwood wins as many games they do in these situations, because when they've lost them, and they haven't won every single one. I know there's this narrative that Collingwood just doesn't lose when it's a close game. Geelong's done them in on a few occasions in these close games. So let's not get too carried away here. But there is this narrative, and they have won the overwhelming majority of these sorts of matches. So the question for me is, why do teams like Geelong, why do teams like Collingwood win in such a way so often? And it's because they get around each other, they support each other, they lift each other up, and they don't push each other down. They've learnt from the mistakes, and they've been better for it. Now, Max, again, not his best moment. Probably shouldn't have made that mistake in the first place. He's had these sorts of errors. He's made these sort of errors before, etc. But he's made another one. Get around him, pick him up, help him out. It's not okay to be a dick. And Stephen May, you're a bit of a dick. Now, one final little piece of news, a little nugget has emerged since I got started on this recording. Fortunately, in this scenario, my kids caused a bit of a stir in the house. I needed to go back inside and deal with them. And by the time I came back to finish this recording, this show off, a little bit more had dropped around the situation. So let's take a look at a quote from Max Gawn after the match here, where he says, Maisie just wants to win and holds us to high standards. It was too loud for me to even know what he said. I didn't realize the cameras were on us, but obviously it was caught. Now, Max, I don't really buy that. Your reaction in the moment says that you absolutely knew what he said. And maybe there is a nugget to the whole he holds us to high standards thing. But again, let's go back to the core part of this conversation, which is as simple as show respect for your teammates. In the case of Stephen May, show respect for someone who could be, by the time he retires, considered the greatest ever Melbourne Football Club player. Now, there's some pretty stiff competition, I'll admit, but if he's not the greatest, he's going to be in that top 5. Max Gawn has done wonderful things for that club. He's led them to a premiership, which is something they've not done in decades before that 2021 flag. He has contributed so much to that football club time and time again. He's been there thick and thin through the worst days, the highlight of the premiership, and even now as things have kind of dropped off and trying to get things right again. He's been a phenomenal leader, and he's made a mistake in this one scenario, and that is okay to make mistakes. Cut him some slack and don't be a dick. That's where we're going to wrap things up for this episode of Nuff of the Week. Thank you all very much for tuning in and bearing with me on this one. Sorry for the lack of Paul James show this week. The flu is gripping my house at the moment, and I can feel it. My head is throbbing, and I'm barely getting through this one. The interruption, probably not the worst thing in the world to give me a bit of a break. If you enjoy this, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's a whole host of awesome videos there like this one. Share it with your friends. Get the word out there about the Hoops Crew, all we get up to, Nuff of the Week as well. You'll find us on Patreon as well. That is patreon.com/thehoopscrew, where you'll get early access to content. There's exclusives and extended stuff as well. Check it all out there. There's lots of great value. We are chasing 50. It is our dream, our goal number for the year to get 50 paid patrons. There's 39 as of when I last checked. Please help grow that community and get access to all the awesome stuff we're doing. In terms of socials, you'll find me at Paul James Games. That's on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. The Hoops Crew is at The Hoops Crew. And that's where we'll wrap things up for this Nuff of the Week. Stephen May, you deserved it. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Remain Geelong strong, and I'll see you later.